When we talk about love, everybody says, "Oh, I love you. I love you too. Do you love me?" "Yes, I love you. I love you." "Prove it to me that you love me." We spend so much time making other people prove that we love each other, right? Making other people prove that they love us, and we spend our time trying to prove that we love them. And most of the time when I hear other teachers talking about love, the best example that we can give as far as love goes is the love that a mom has for their kids. Because the love that a mom is supposed to have for their kids is always patient and always accepting, always encouraging, always forgiving. They love you no matter what, right? Nobody will ever love you like your mom loves you. That's what they say. And that's the way it should be, right? Moms have been given that characteristic of love and compassion for their kids that dads haven't been given. We love our kids. There's no doubt about it. We love our kids, but it's a different type of experience of love. And when I hear other teachers talk about this, most of the time, that's the example that they want to give when it comes to cultivating love and compassion in your heart. They will tell you, focus on the way your mother loved you. But what other teachers are missing is the fact that not everybody experienced that type of love from their mothers. Because a lot of times, what happened was our mothers were in survival mode, just like a lot of us today are in survival mode. That survival mode just goes down generation to generation, and that becomes the status quo or the norm when it comes to love or survival. So while we can utter the phrase, I love you, a lot of times there's no feeling and intent behind it, and it's just an empty phrase that we know we're supposed to say that people we value and cherish having in our lives. But love can quickly turn to dislike or hate or even be withdrawn when somebody does something that we don't like. So when we look at the concept of love, we should ask ourselves, is that the type of love that I experience and that I give to other people? Or do I give them the true version of love where I will love them and accept them, so on and so forth, regardless of if they do what I tell them and want them and expect them to do? A lot of times our love is based on expectations. So we end up chasing expectations of what we expect from other people. And if they are in alignment with, if their actions and words are in alignment with our expectations, then we consider that to be a part of love, right? We say, oh, they love me. They must love me. They do and say what I expect and what I want. And to a certain degree, that is the idea of love, because when you enter into a relationship, for example, part of the agreement is I will do A, B, C, D for you, and you will do A, B, C, D for me. And if one of us goes against that agreement, then that means that we're no longer holding up to our standard or our ideal version of what love is. So immediately we start to question whether that person loves us or not. And we make no effort to leave any kind of room for human error. So we can see that other people are not perfect, and we can see that we ourselves are not perfect. But when it comes to the concept and the idea of love, we will let it quickly turn to hate whenever somebody doesn't meet our expectations. So when I think of teaching somebody to cultivate love and compassion, the first thing that doesn't come to mind for me is a mother's love. It has to be based on that individual person's experience of what love is. Now, their experience of love, as in them giving it away to someone else, may be different than what they have received. So a lot of us have not received the love the way that we should have, but we have still given that love to somebody or something. A lot of us know what it's like to be passionately in love with our career. A lot of us know what it's like to be passionately in love with a hobby, a sport, sewing and knitting. You know, there are different there are different ideas and concepts of love, and different people love different things. So most of us do have some faint idea of what it feels like to give love, even if we don't know what it's like to receive love. So a starting point for developing our overall love and compassion for other people and for ourselves, for humanity at large, for animals, for nature, so on and so forth, can be our very experience of what we have already given love to. And how do we do that? The best way to do that is to close your eyes and simply bring to mind something that you have given every piece of your love to. Now, obviously, if that has been a parent that has been abusive, or a spouse that's been abusive, or a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, a kid, whatever, and they have had a tumultuous relationship with you and caused you a great deal of grief and stress and heartache, so on and so forth, then you're not going to be able to use them as your example. But everybody has looked into the eyes of a kitten and saw the pureness and the innocence of that tiny kitten, or held their baby for the first time and saw that pureness and that innocence of their child, or looked into the eyes of their lover or their wife, their husband, so on and so forth, and experienced that feeling of complete love and trust and surrender. And as a result of that, this is what you can close your eyes and bring to mind. And when you bring it to mind, you also want to let that thought, carry that thought down to the heart. And once it's in the heart, you want to keep it settled there. And a lot of you will know what I'm talking about, how you can really focus on something and bring that feeling into your heart area. Once that feeling is in your heart, you try to hold that feeling for as long as you possibly can. And of course, intrusive thoughts are going to come. They're going to keep coming at you. That's just the nature of the mind. But as these intrusive thoughts come, you can release them and bring your object of love and compassion and affection back to mind. And again, lead it slowly to the area of the heart and hold it in the heart area. And I know this sounds like it's too simple to be effective, but it's really not. 99.9% of the time, the most simple techniques are the most effective for developing love, compassion, concentration, so on and so forth. So it's not a matter of whether or not it's effective. It is effective if you practice it consistently. Consistency is the key when it comes to practicing and developing anything. So whatever your object of love is, whatever your object of compassion is, it's simply a matter of being able to recall that, and recall that feeling and that experience of how you actually felt in that moment of love. Forget about the pain of separation from that object of love, and focus only on the experience of loving in that moment in and of itself. This can be brought back to mind as many times as are necessary for the success of this, I would call it, experiment. And once you experiment with this and you see that it works, you'll begin to place more stock into it, and it will motivate you and encourage you to say, hey, guess what? I'm not dead inside. I'm not dead inside, because most of us are walking around and we feel completely dead inside. We feel completely emotionless. Even though we mutter and utter the words, I love you, to everything and everybody that we come in contact with that we're supposed to love, doesn't necessarily mean that we're experiencing it and we're feeling it. Most of the time, we're going through the motions of it like we are with everything else, because life happens. That's the nature of life. So until next time, you have something to begin your practice of experiencing love with, and we can work on that, and we can build that, and we can grow from that. So techniques to remember, techniques to put into practice. Till next time.